What a beautiful day it is. Today is day 6. No, it's day 7. I think it's day 7. Yeah, it's day 7 of the 3-Ups challenge. And I think I'm gonna be adding, I think I'm gonna be adding 100 squats. So I finished around 45 minutes with the 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 pull-ups. That shit sucks. But I definitely need to do them faster, and I need to keep my heart rate at least like at zone 3, because zone 2 is fucking bullshit. So I'm gonna add squats to the challenge. I think I'm gonna do 100 squats. But it doesn't really make sense because I say 3 ups. Maybe 4 ups? 4 ups doesn't make sense though. I guess it'd be like 3 ups plus squats. Not the best name. I'm like terrible with like names and stuff. 3 ups. 3 ups. I don't really care. 3 ups plus this. Just do 3 ups challenge. It's 100 squats, 100 pull-ups. Well, it's 100 pull-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 squats every day for 100 days straight. Fuck. A full body calisthenics workout for 100 days straight, and I haven't missed a day yet. Should not. Unless literally I end up on a hospital bed or something, which knock on wood, or I get, terribly sick. That's the only cases where I think, maybe I'll fold. And when I get sick, it's normally due to me going out and eating some bullshit, That's when I usually get sick. I get sick I think sickness comes from dietary stuff and really just stuff within. I don't think this might be a crazy thing to say, but I think sickness comes from internal and external. I think, actual sickness, like you can obviously have like bullshit bacteria come in your body, but I think the actual feeling of sickness is handled internally in your body. And I guess I don't know how to explain it well, but like how healthy you are determines, I guess, how sick you may be when, I guess then that would be the immune system. I look like an idiot now. That would be, I guess, yeah, if your immune system's great, then if you get sick, you won't be as sick, or at least maybe not even get sick. So yeah, but I don't know. I always have some crazy thoughts like COVID was planned. I think COVID was planned, or at least not planned in the sense of, more in the sense of like they developed the virus and it got leaked from a lab. The original kind of theory was that it came from a wet market and from mishandling of raw meats, or more specifically bats. I remember when COVID happened, I don't even know if I can talk about that. Oh, actually I can't talk about that on YouTube because they'll freaking ban me. But I only got like a handful of people that watch this shit. So don't even matter. But I'm just making these videos to hopefully entertain, but more importantly, share with you the raw reality, why you clicked on this video, the raw reality of being an entrepreneur at 18 years old. The journey is very lonely. I would say lonely in the sense of the feeling of being, because like a lot of people usually when they hear lonely, they kind of attach it to you're probably sad and depressed. No, I'm always so happy. I'm more connected to my family than ever, and I'm on my purpose. Like I'm doing things that I love, and like the work, like what I do for work, I fucking love what I do for work. This is my hobby. People ask, what's your hobby? What's the thing you like to do for fun? This is what I love to do for fun. And when I say lonely, it means the journey itself is lonely, but that doesn't mean I'm sad and depressed or anything like that. Very far from it. I would say I think loneliness is always tied to the wrong type of context. I just had this pre-workout, still a little bit left. I think this has sucralose in it for the artificial sweetener. Don't like that. I think a better idea than this bullshit, honey and salt, right? For my energy, and then for my actual pump, no stims, and then creatine capsules for the creatine part, because I think it actually makes sense to supplement creatine, It's actually really hard to get it via like dietary or via diet. So it's actually, I think that's what I'm gonna do, because this, honestly, I kind of hate drinking this. So you do like, I see people just do a spoonful of honey, and they put some, like, you can get like Redmond salt or some pink Himalayan salt, put on top, and you can do that as a sweetener. Well, not a sweetener, but like as an electrolytes for salt to actually get a pump. Because I don't know if you guys will agree, but I gotta feel good in order for me to lift good. If I feel good and if I have all these things in place, then I'll lift good. You know, I'll fucking lift really good. What else? New onboarding process has been freaking fire. We're going through another Jai test right now just to try to break the system. And our affiliate wants to run some more webinars with us. So boom shakalaka. Last one we only did like 100 grand, which you guys are like, oh, only 100 grand. Well, we actually kind of broke even on it because ad spend was close to that. So, you know, there's customers to test our process, and it was a learning lesson, but, you know, we broke even on that, which is not amazing, you know, but then you're learning and collecting more data. So it's like, I'm young as fuck, and you know, money is, as long as I'm not in debt and I'm paying my taxes and I'm paying my team, for me, you know, I don't really care how much money I have, as long as, you know, I'm learning, you know, every day, every time I go in the office and I come out, you know how they do fucking software updates to Tesla. You're like 1.012, I fucking want to come out fucking 0.3, and then next day I want to come out 0.4, and then next time I want to come out with 0.5. Like, it's just like these incremental fixes, minor fixes, and then over time, you know, I'm fucking on the next version of whatever, you know. That's kind of how I think about self-improvement. Every single day, I want to at least do some minor tweaks, some minor upgrades, some minor improvements, new feature announcements, you know, shit like that, you know. So that's how I think about self-improvement, is that little gradual kind of increase in performance over time, not massive sprints. Because what I know from what I've learned from product development is that when you do shit like that, you know, a lot of times, a lot of shit will be broken, you know, shit will be out of order, shit's not done right, blah, 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 blah. And now, also on that topic, man, my calluses are fucked. On that topic, I way overlooked this shit, was Whimsical. Whimsical is a kind of a, how do you say, a mapping, like a whiteboard type of a mapping software that allows you to create charts and shit, and it really helps with getting everyone aligned on the process and how it should be done and the standard operating procedure and stuff like that. So from SaaS Academy, I'm actually learning how to actually operate and actually organization structure or document organization for my company. So how do we document SOPs? How do we document playbooks? What are the specifics in a playbook that you have to hit, and so on and so forth. So today what I learned was, so there's help docs, right, for the user. There's playbooks, right? So this is more on the training side. It's actually a lot more complicated than I thought before. You have process maps, right? This would be more like a flowchart type of deal. You'll visually see what goes on. SOPs are more so step-by-step things that are, what would you say, manually done by the team. These are manual actions. I would say SOPs are things that are manual, and then process maps show all the automations and where manual actions are required. I would say SOPs are more so like specifics on how an action should be done, and then following that, templates are under SOPs. So if you don't know what SOPs means, it's a standardized operating procedure, and you have your templates under that. So like templates for a certain process in the step, like what's the exact way to respond to something like this? What's the exact template for this? What's the exact format for so-and-so? It's like templates would be part of SOPs. That would be part of that structure. And I think playbooks, a playbook is the entire hierarchy of the actual, so playbooks on top of everything. So it's process maps, and then then you have SOPs, templates, and yeah, so you have SOPs, templates, process maps, and then the umbrella would be playbooks. So, and then playbooks would then be a part of like a specific position's training, or maybe not even that, maybe just whatever. I used to just call it company resources. And as you grow, as you scale, you start getting more and more processes in place that you need, playbooks and SOPs for. I think playbooks and SOPs and just documentation in general is how the CEO can truly attach from their business, is having these documents in place of how to exactly do something exactly the way it's supposed to be, without you having to be there and go back and forth with the person that's doing the thing. So someone can do your job without you having to be there. That's how Dan Martell calls, actually buying back your time, is properly documenting the process, showing how it's done A to Z, showing how the process looks from a high level overview, showing how the templates look like, showing how the playbooks look like all these things. But first and foremost, before you even start doing this stuff, is the number one thing to do if you're gonna do this. One, know what the fuck you're doing. One. Number two is first, testing out, at least getting a proof of concept for the idea process. What I always start with is like a Google Doc outline of like, hey, this is kind of what the goal will be. And then from there, we go into testing, and we kind of test initially in like a sandbox account. And then from there, if we prove the concept there, and it's like, okay, now let's actually try this in the real world. And then if this works, then let's create a process map for it. But the process map will also be kind of built along with this testing phase of what, as I went on, obviously, I've gotten better, much better at predicting the success of an idea, because over time, you'll know, what works and what doesn't work. And then when you do have an idea, you can kind of just go and like, be like, okay, I already know all this shit works. We just kind of have to prove it and get a proof of concept. It's not like, we're throwing shit to a wall and then figuring it out. So you have your pretty much idea, testing, and then you go and at least document it. And then, well, I guess I would say document's probably at the end, but maybe documenting is part of this entire process. I would say at least until you have something that's functional. It may not be the most automated, but if it's functional, then I would say that's a completed process. If it's functional without bugs, that's a completed process. That's when you should have a process map. Now, as far as an SOP, you can have that as well. And then also, you can start documenting the process. Once you have something that's functional, that doesn't break, that is proven, that's when you start documentation. Next thing is, okay, now that we have this in place, it's functional, it's working. Now we think about, how do we optimize? How do we automate? How do we lubricate this process as much as possible with tools like Zapier, with tools like Go High Level, with tools like, do we need to do code development to automate, because there's some things Zapier cannot do. And then maybe there's some things that need special custom code development. Like we have in our company, we have like Python scripts that do very specific things for our company for a very specific use case that Zapier cannot do. So you got to think about all these things when you're thinking about optimizing and especially automating. So automating will buy back not only your time, but also your team's time, because that's really where a lot of time is saved, is on the automation part. And that's how you make your team even more efficient, is through robots, is through, with now AI. Now AI has existed for probably 5 or so more years now. It's just machine learning labeled as AI. I mean, machine learning has what it's been, and then ChatGPT popularized it, but it's been machine learning for years now. But so you document, and then you automate, and then you test, and then again you go back and check, okay, is this functional or not? If it's functional, yes, no bugs. Next thing, actually now you guys gave me an idea for now with building stuff, with building systems. It's like, this is the process. You go from idea, and what you do with an idea is you outline it, and then on the document, and then from there you go and test it, and then if testing goes well, then you go and document it, and so on and so forth. And then maintenance is another question, which we're not even to yet, because I think we're still in the phase of, I would say optimizing and documenting. So right now, we're optimizing and automating, and also once those are good, you update the previous SOPs or documentation or whatever. And then after that, once you're to the point where there's nothing else I can do, then that's when you're like, this is as automated as I could make it to be. So that's when you know you're actually done with optimizing something. Let me see if I can find some spots here. There's always no spots there. And then you move on to a new process. And then you also, you can also train someone to if something comes up and we need to update our SOPs, how's that done? Well, you do so-and-so. You'd have an SOP within an SOP. And don't get scared by, this word SOP. Just think of it as like a step